Hello, everyone. Welcome into this edition of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita. I am joined again by my White Sox expert and my season ticket partner, Jason Frank. How you doing today, Jason?
Doing great. How are you, Tony?
I'm doing good. So obviously we're fresh off. Jason and I were finally back in the ballpark. That was Saturday against the Rays. We saw a win. We'll kind of get into the series recaps from this past week against the Mariners and the Rays. We're going to be talking a little Dylan Cease and how he is awesome and potential Cy Young candidate. People are saying, at least I am. And then we'll kind of preview.
We're people.
Yes, we are people. And then I'll kind of preview. Jason and I will preview what's coming up in this next week. We got a couple, 3 straight division series, actually, inter-division series coming up. First, I got to address something I saw on Twitter. It was a little bit, you may not have seen it. It was like a little bit bubbling up on Sox Twitter, baseball Twitter. There was a Baltimore or a couple Baltimore Orioles fans, Cleveland, what are they now? The Guardians fans talking trash about the G spot, about the South Side, about Chicago, saying,
which I'm sure they know nothing about.
Yeah, how dangerous it is to go. Jason and I went to 30 plus games last year. I've been going to games my whole life as a kid, as a teen, as an adult. My dad's been going, for years with his dad. And as is, Jason's family as well. And we've never had an issue. I know there's this reputation. Don't get me wrong. We're hard, we're scary, we're tough. And, and it is like it's the blue collar team. It has kind of that vibe. But I mean, drunk fans will fight each other. But if you're not going out there picking a fight, you're probably not going to end up in a fight. They're just fighting each other because they're yelling in their face. That's just guys or girls. That's just people. They're just ready to fight each other. They're drunk. It's a beautiful
drunk on a Sunday. It's hot. You're frustrated because your butt is sweating. What else are you going to do?
Exactly. And then, so it's, of course, it's Baltimore and Cleveland fans. And as Joakim Noah would say,
you like it? You think Cleveland's cool? I mean, I never heard anybody say I'm going to Cleveland on vacation. I mean, what's so good about Cleveland?
In Baltimore, I don't know. I don't follow you guys very much, but since Cal Ripken, I don't know who the heck's been on.
Yeah, absolutely irrelevant city as well. So we just got some jealous fans or jealous guys and girls, I'm sure, too. Just mad they don't live in the greatest city in the world, root for the greatest team in the world as well. So let's get into the recap. Thanks for that rant. Let us know if you agree, and if you're a fan of another team and you disagree, let us know. I'll be happy to roast you in the chat. Or in the comments. So, Jason, let's talk about kind of what happened this past week. Why don't you let us know what happened against the Mariners to kick off this past week?
Yeah, so game 1, Sox won 3-2. It was a close one. We had good 4 solid innings out of Vince Velasquez. He had 1 earned run before everyone went to the bullpen, and the bullpen showed out for this game. So, and then highlight of the night was a Luis Robert bomb. His swings are so effortless. It's beautiful to watch any of his home runs. Game 2, Sox win 6-4. Keuchel went 5 innings, 3 earned runs. And quite honestly, we'll take that. Mm-hmm. I'll have him go up 5 innings, 3 runs. The way our bats are working, that's like the best you can ask for with him right now. Maybe that'll kind of help him get out of his funk. And then the bullpen came in and held the Mariners to 2 hits in the last 4 innings. So once again, bullpen coming in strong. Then highlight of the night was we had back-to-back home runs from Luis Robert and Tim Anderson. Always exciting to see those. Back-to-back makes it a little more exciting. Then game 3, fortunately, 5-1 bad guys. But I don't know if I'm going to count this game just because of how windy it was. That's what I think I'll blame it on for this one. Our lone run came from a Jake Berger nuke to shortstop. Got caught in the wind, and Adam Engel just kept running because the ball was up there forever. Shortstop had a tough play with all the wind, but that was our only run. And then pitcher of the night was Tanner Banks, who came in for the 4th and 5th inning and did not give up a single run. I listened to his interview on the White Sox Talk podcast on my way home today. And I'm honestly just a huge fan of him and his story. He's 30 years old, been grinding it out for years, and he finally got his chance to show us what he's got, and he's done fairly well so far.
Yeah, I love Tanner Banks. He's kind of the guy too. Every time he comes in, and I don't mean any offense to him with it, but I'm kind of waiting for what is it? The clock to strike midnight on, the little Cinderella run he's been on. He's finally up, and honestly, he has great fundamentals, and I think those 9 years in the minors actually, as much as I'm sure during year 4 and 5 and 6, he's like, this is terrible. Like I would give anything to be up in the majors. I think it probably ended up making him a stronger pitcher. He really honed his craft, and so far he's absolutely been killing it. I actually talk about him in game 3 here, but we'll start with game 1 against the Tampa Bay Rays, the weekend series. So Friday night on Apple TV only, that was something. I was
out of left field. No pun intended.
Yeah, nice. I am anti-Apple TV baseball broadcast. I think we'll update as the season goes along. I think I'm anti that. So game 1, Jake Berger finally hits the home run he was looking for. I know he had mentioned kind of coming into the game, he was not feeling bad about it, but it was just like I'm a power guy. What am I like? I don't know how I haven't hit a home run yet. It was only
He's not doing his thing. It's like Tim Anderson not getting runs. Like it's just.
Yeah, it was only 6 games in the season, so I'm happy to see that he expects more from himself, though. That's cool to see where he expects that he should be always producing, always contributing to the team. Dylan Cease, the man of the hour, we're going to talk about after this little recap here. He had 8 strikeouts through 5 2/3 innings. Bummer, nearly blew it, but Liam then finished it off with his best outing of the year. He's been having some interesting outings for sure, but that one was by far his best. Game 2, Jason and I were there, as I mentioned. It was amazing to be back in the G spot. Always love to hit the G spot. Everyone knows that. Jose Abreu went yard, his first home run of the year, if I'm not mistaken. So good to see him get off the pine, I believe is the analogy there.
And if you followed me on Twitter, I told you to take it.
Yes, true. Jason had a nice 10 to win 36 or something on him to hit a home run. So that was a great bet. And I'm sure as we all know, as it warms up, Jose Abreu will also continue to warm up. He's the man of August, right? August is always his best year. So that'll be coming soon enough. Kopech was awesome after a rough first inning, but total he went 5 innings, no earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. His run in the first inning was unearned because Josh Harrison, threw that ball with his eyes closed. That was unreal.
We were saying he looked like Javi Baez out there.
Throwing it to the guy sitting 5 rows up. Yeah, 100%. And
he's looking at a guy in a Brave jersey and threw it to him.
Yeah, see, he's over there somewhere. He actually ended up making a couple good plays throughout the rest of the game that kind of made up for it. Although he did struggle at the plate, that's kind of that section of the lineup. Here's a little inside behind the scenes, behind the curtains peek for you guys. So Jason had a free bet. It was $200 free bet. And he bet basically all these guys to get, a certain amount of total bases or more. So most of them were 1, but he had Josh Harrison, Leori Garcia to each get over half of a total base. So they just had to get on base. And so they would have been up in the bottom of the 9th with a chance that they were both 0 for 3, hadn't gotten on base. And
top of the 9th was rough. I was mixed feelings.
Yeah, top of the 9th, Liam Hendricks is almost blowing it. So Jason's looking at it as like an emotional hedge. Of course, we always want the Sox to win. That's
right.
First
and
foremost.
Win in the bottom of the 9th.
But if it's like, okay, yeah, Larry gets on and Josh Harrison hits a walk-off home run like he's known to do. That wouldn't have been too bad, right?
It would have been $3,000 in my pocket.
Yeah. So that was it was just, that was a tough showing for those guys. Ronaldo Lopez also nearly blew that game, but he ended up with a win. And that's why pitching wins are not a stat I usually go off of. I'll accept them if you want to say, look how many he has, it's a lot. But if you say, he only has X amount, look at, Jeff Samardzija through the years. These guys that were, have like a 1.2 ERA. They have 1 win on the year in 18 starts. So,
right.
So that was game 2. And then game 3 to finish it up. Horrific first inning by Vince Velasquez. Not entirely his fault. There was some weird stuff. There was some weird stuff with the shift. There was just little dribblers that got by. He walked a bunch of guys. He actually made an error on a ball that was hit right back to him. So that was unfortunate. Would have got him probably out of the inning. They won the series, so it's not the end of the world. Tanner Banks, still awesome. Had another great showing. Severino, I believe that's how it's pronounced, similar to the Yankees pitcher.
Severino.
Yes, exactly. So not good. Not a good outing, but he has no experience in at all. So
right.
Whatever. That was kind of just the boys
get
are
your
tired.
feet wet.
Boys
there.
are tired. Get the the bullpen. We don't want to really waste too many guys.
Right.
And then TA, although this would have changed the whole game. Tim Anderson, after the Sox give up 4 in the top of the first, gets robbed of a home run. Leading off the bottom of the first inning. And Sheets ended up tacking on a home run at the end of the game, which was really the lone offensive highlight, I guess. So
yeah, but if he hits that home run, I feel like our runs come in bunches, and I don't know. It was a great play by whoever that was.
Oh, it was an incredible robbery. It's similar to the Adam Engel, robbery. I think it was against Seattle earlier in the week. So the baseball gods karma always comes around. Water always finds its level. So speaking of gods of baseball, let's get into the main topic. Dylan Cease. Jason, give us some of your thoughts on Dylan Cease.
So thought number 1, Stash makes me laugh. I love it. It's dirty. It's almost as dirty as his pitching. He so far has been 2-0. We don't count wins, but I'll count these 2 because he's been a beast. In 10 2/3 inning, he has 16 Ks, which I know it's early in the season and whatnot, but that's 4th in the majors. And he's pitched, of those 4, the 3rd least amount. So everyone else has pitched 11 and 12. And then he has a 1.69 ERA. And I just want to reiterate this for Sox fans that to start the season, this man is 3rd in our rotation when we're fully healthy. Giolito's not here. Lance Lynn isn't here. And our 3rd in the rotation guy has a 1.69 ERA. So it's so early in the season, but happy to see it.
Absolutely. And I just did a little quick math here. So he strikes out about 1.5 batters per inning, which again, 3 total outs in an inning. Yeah, that's pretty dang good. Obviously, again, I know it's 2 games, but he has the stuff. You don't, at least in my opinion, it doesn't look like he's getting lucky. Vince Velasquez, maybe in his first start, that was like we're not hitting this guy, whatever. You see,
Dylan probably just didn't have a report on the dude.
Dylan Cease is going out there just snapping off the dirtiest breaking balls in the world, and he's also
he really
buzzing it by your tower with like a 98 mile an hour fastball.
I'm not always the biggest fan of watching my team pitch, just because when you have Luis Robert and all them batting, that's when I go get a hot dog or something. But when he's pitching, I sit and watch because he is just so much fun to watch because you don't know what's going to come out of his hand anymore.
Absolutely. It's exciting. Yeah. Every time he pitches. So I get a couple deeper stats for you guys. Dylan Cease against right-handed batters is giving up a .071. So a 71 batting average, which pretty good. Makes sense. Righty matchup. And that's exactly where we expect him to shine. And that's, that's why obviously switch hitters will always try to be the opposite of what the pitcher's doing. So speaking of that, left-handed batters are hitting 182 off him, which again makes sense to that righty-lefty matchup. Still fantastic. And broke it down even further. And this is just, I came across it, I had to include it. So Baseball Reference has the breakdown of Dylan Cease or a pitcher versus each spot in the batting order. So how he does against, the number 1 guy in the batting order, number 2 and number 3. So against the second guy in the overall lineup. So the guy, not the second guy each inning, second guy in the overall lineup. Second guy's hitting 667 off him, 4 for 6. Pretty good. The 7th guy in the lineup, 500, 2 for 4. All others are hitless. All others. It's an incredible.
So if he walks the 2nd and 7th batter, he can have a no-hitter.
100%. That's exactly. They find a way. They do like a double switch where they have like Lance Lynn in right field, and so they just
there we go.
God. Yeah, no, they'll definitely. I think you could do that. It doesn't matter. That won't happen.
TLR, if you're listening, walk them.
Yeah, just walk. Yeah, look at the advanced stats, baby. So, speaking of what we think Tony La Russa should do and other stuff coming up, let's give a little preview to this coming week, and we'll get you guys out of here. So, first off, like I said, we got 3 straight interdivision series The first one is against the Cleveland newly named Guardians. In their disgusting, gross city no one will ever go to. Oh, I hate
puke
Cleveland.
emoji.
Yeah, such a terrible town. So it was supposed to be 4, if I'm not mistaken. It was supposed to be 4. Monday when we're recording actually got rained out, inclement weather. That's rescheduled to July 12th. So only 3 against Cleveland this time around. The Guardians are coming off a sweep at the hands of the Giants. That was at home, so they don't have to travel. We do. It is only again to Cleveland, again where no one wants to go, but that still is a little travel time you got to factor in. It's nice we got this day off. Keuchel versus Shane Bieber is Tuesday, so today 4/19 when you're watching it. The Biebs did miss most of last year with an injury, but if you guys know anything about Shane Bieber, if you've heard of Shane Bieber, you know he is fantastic. He almost made the All-Star game last year. He had like 3 starts just because people were voting for him, and he was like out for the year with an arm injury. People were still just like, I love this guy. You know what? I respect it. If we weren't in the same division, I'd probably vote for him. Game 2, Jimmy Lambert versus Tristan McKenzie. Another guy that if you've been watching Sox baseball the past couple of years, you've seen Tristan McKenzie. Young guy. He's actually younger than both Jason and I. His birthday's in August, so he's 24. He's a skinny, wiry guy, but he has like these elastic arms, really long, like kind of like a Chris Sale long, but he's even skinnier. I think he's like 160 pounds or something, but he's tall. God. I like this guy. I really do. And he is very fun to watch because he does have that great whipping motion, like with his arm. And he just breaks off some beautiful, beautiful breaking balls, as well as he's got a little heat behind those skinny shoulders. But like I said, he is pretty good, so I hate him for the next few days. But that should be at least fun to watch. See, hopefully Jimmy Lambert progress as well throughout the season, because it looks like we're going to need him for a bit. And then finally, Dylan Cease versus Zach Plesac. Plesac started the April 14th massacre, as I put it. That was last year, where he was pulled in the first inning because he gave up so many runs, I think without recording it out. Your mean Mercedes hit a home run in that. And, Rodon hit a little no-hitter that game as well. That was pretty fun. So we'll see. I know he's pitched against him a little bit last year, and I didn't look up any stats for that, but I'd like to think he stinks. And Dylan Cease is going to continue his dominance against a on paper not too terrible Guardians team, but they're just not going to do it this year. Shane Bieber is going to be their lone bright spot, and Jose Ramirez, of course, too. But so Jason, why don't you tell us about the weekend series?
Yeah, so this weekend we got 3 at the ugliest Twins you'll ever see. Not the ones you dream about, Tony. They only have 2 players batting above 250, but in their 3 of their 4 wins, they've scored 8, 8, and 10 runs. So we just can't let this team get hot, it seems like. So, I mean, I don't know how you can have only 2 above 250 and score that many runs, but we have them and then a day off against the Royals. I was trying to get tricky with the rotation to kind of see what we could do, because you want like Keuchel and Lambert, Velasquez pitching these, but then we have the Royals the next week. So it was a waste of 30 minutes of my time. So we'll probably see Kopech and then 2 of those guys most likely. And Giolito is eligible to return April 19th. I'm thinking we'll see him, best case scenario at the end of this series or early in the Royals series starting April 26th. That's next Tuesday. Give him a little time to get back into the groove of things. But prediction, as always, Sox sweep.
Yep, I think it's a great prediction. Yeah, to go back to last episode real quick, and then we'll close out. I think I said something like, just don't get swept by these 2 teams about Seattle and the Rays. And we went 4 for 6. Pretty good. It wasn't a doubt. I wasn't doubting the White Sox bats. I was doubting their pitching. And yes, we obviously saw Vince had a terrible game, the last game against the Rays. And Jimmy Lambert, I mean, that was just the weirdest game of all time. That's just the elements. That's tough. But I mean, like we said, Keuchel had a fine outing. Kopech's been great.
Right.
I'm happy. I'm now expecting at least one, maybe sweep the Guardians. I wouldn't be. Shane Bieber's going to be tough. The Twins will be a tough matchup, and then once we get to Kansas City, we got to sweep Kansas City. just kind of start picking up these wins where we can. The White Sox are currently on pace for 108 wins. Fun fact, did that math the other earlier today.
Yeah, for everyone
more or less
complaining
adds
on White Sox Twitter, like, I don't know what you can complain about. Like Tony just said, what we're on pace for. Like, what more do you want?
We're winning 2 out of every 3 series. Yeah, or 2 out of every 3 games, winning these series.
Right.
Yeah, I would
love to win every game.
Yeah, I would give if I could guarantee the Sox would win 2, lose 1, win 2, lose just the rest of the year. I'd probably give my pinky. Like
I would
amazing.
Too. That means we're going all the darn way.
So 108 wins. Depending, once you get into the 2 4-game series, it gets a little convoluted.
Yeah.
But that's out of 162. That's the math. So with that, that'll do it for this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Cepeda. Thank you again to White Sox expert Jason Frank for joining me again today. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Until next time, Southsiders. See ya.
See ya.